like to say at first. And I think it was an easy poem to write despite feeling so trapped in writing it, because it follows a true story. It's because of actual text messages that I sent. And when I was writing it, I printed out those text messages and put them in front of me and tried to follow suit. Obviously, I didn't say anything nearly this poetic, or my friend would have been like, "Ashley, what are you saying right now?" But I think that the form of this poem allowed me to express myself more clearly in the way that I like to. Stephanie used a good word when we were talking about this poem, in that it follows subversion. It's about subverting what I'm saying while still being intensely authentic and honest about what I want to say. And I think that that's a fun vehicle to use. I think that poems don't have to look a certain way or be a certain thing. And even though I like this poem to be read on paper and I don't present it very often, saying it out loud makes it feel more real and reminds me of the journey that I've taken to come to this point. So, yeah, that's poem.
When do you think a poem is finished?
Never. Never. I think that a poem is always developing and changing. The first poem that I performed, I wrote when I was 15 or 16, and it's been 3 or 4 years later, and I don't think it's finished. And I changed it so many times. The first draft was this big, and then I expanded on it because I'm constantly changing as a person. The subjects of my poems are changing around me, and the world, of course, is always learning and growing. And experiences like this, being in a place like this, will always change what I write about and how I write it. So I'm definitely going to go back and change that first poem once I go back home.
Do you all have your questions ready? You're going to have to wait. Get your questions ready. We're going to close with one more poem from Stephanie, and then I'm actually going to have a full-on opportunity for you all to ask questions, because I know there's a lot of questions there. So let's give it up one more time for Stephanie Pacheco.
All right. Thank you all so much again. So far, this has just been so amazing, and I'm just so honored to get the opportunity to share some poems with you all. I feel my mentors all the way from New York yelling at me about reading from my phone. Don't tell them about this, Michael. Don't tell them. It's a secret. All right. So just to gauge who's in the room, how many of you are students? Yeah, me too. I think students are so wildly powerful. Oh my goodness, no matter where I go, I'm always impressed by how rowdy and powerful and intelligent students are, no matter where you go. And I think that teenagers and college students should run the world. I think we know so much about so many things, and we would all just be okay if the world just followed suit with our ideas about what should happen. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where this poem came from. So I was reading this poem by another amazing American poet named Denise Smith, where they're going around to all the different people in their community, the people around them, and saying that they would uplift and elect this person to a position of leadership. And I was like, oh man, that's good. I do that. And I think the world will be better because of it. So this poem is me doing exactly that. It does have a little bit of New York City in it, but we were leaders everywhere, right? You guys get it. I feel like I'm giving you a tour of New York City right now. And this is the closing of the tour. So I say all that to say, this poem is about electing the people my age into a leadership position, because I feel like we already are the leaders of our city, of our state, and of our country. I feel like I'm looking at the leaders of Kolkata right now. And it's about uplifting the people in my community into a position of leadership, because we already are. So yeah, walk with me. All right. Today, I elect the dopest old head who sits on the benches of the courtyard of our building, always playing a 70s or 80s tune that reminds him of youth and the good old days. He has the meanest playlist the kindest hands, and has never needed to know my name to greet me in the morning. I don't know if he knows I write poetry. I wonder if he has ever written a garden on a page, or if he is just the poem. Today, he is the ruler of rulers. And I like the empanada man. It's like a little like fried piece of dough with meat inside. It's really good. I think you guys would like it. I like the empanada man on 188 who put his entire trust into his cooking. I mean, those are the best empanadas I've ever had. Who taught you how to flip island into a bowl of ground chicken? Who taught you the gentleness of folding dough onto itself like a love letter? Who was it that reminded you food can bring a song to life? Whatever it was, put it on a bill because we're passing it. I vote for the woman with the soft voice, who stood guard over the cashier at the Jamaican spot on Gun Hill, who gifted me an extra beef patty because they were closing.